A holiday roast does not need to cost you an arm and a leg, but it may require a shoulder. Pork shoulder, that is. Bryan's here, and he's going to show us how to turn a pork shoulder into a beautiful roast.
Pork shoulder, also known as pork butt, when it's cut from higher up on the hog there. It is an absolutely wonderful cut. It's affordable. When cooked right, it's tender, juicy. It's one of my favorite cuts.
Definitely my favorite, yep.
So, and it requires very little upfront work. We're just going to do a dry brine.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to combine 3 tablespoons of kosher salt with 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar. Just mix that together. So this is really going to play to this salty sweet combination. Sugar and salt, kind of like bacon or char siu, those iconic salty sweet dishes. All right, so that's all set there. All right, so this is a 6 to 7 pound bone-in pork butt. And it's called pork butt because they used to cure them in barrels, which were known as butts.
Right.
But it is definitely a shoulder cut.
Yes.
So we're going to give that a 1-inch crosshatch. So 1-inch crosshatch pattern. We're going to go about a 1/4 inch deep just through the fat cap. And this is going to help the fat render a little bit more easily in the oven. And it's also going to help that salt penetrate as it sits. So we're going to rub this all over, our sugar salt mixture all over the pork. So we'll do about half of it on this back side here. We've gone ahead and lined the countertop with plastic wrap. And the reason I like to season the pork on plastic wrap is because if you're just going to season it on a board, all the sugar and salt you throw onto it bounces off. Now that we're seasoning it on the plastic wrap, when we wrap it all up, it's all going to stay in contact with the pork.
100%.
And the other half will go on top and on the sides of the pork. And then we're just going to wrap it up, kind of like I'm making a burrito here, you know?
Nice.
Give it a fold, and then all that sugar and salt stays on there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to place this pork shoulder into the refrigerator. We're going to let it sit for at least 12 hours. If we can go full 24 hours, it's going to be so much better for that. And during that time, it'll allow the salt and sugar to start to penetrate the meat.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, this has been sitting in the refrigerator for 24 hours. So we can peel off the plastic wrap here. Okay, you can see a lot of that sugar and salt has all dissolved. It's got this nice shiny look to it. We're going to transfer it to a wire rack in a rim baking sheet. We've lined the sheet with aluminum foil. That's just going to help it make it easier for us to clean up.
Yes.
We're going to cover with aluminum foil. So we're going to put this into a 325-degree oven. So we're covering it with foil for the first 2 hours so we trap the heat so it cooks a little bit more quickly because all in, we're going to cook this thing for about 6 hours.
Okay.
Love what you're watching? Take your cooking to the next level with our Essential membership. Get instant access to thousands of recipes, tips, techniques, product reviews, and step-by-step videos. Our Members app allows you to search by ingredient, set dietary preferences, and save your favorite recipes. For those looking to level up, our newest feature, ATK Classes, offers more in-depth instruction led by ATK experts so you can gain greater confidence in the kitchen. Start your free trial by visiting the App Store or going to americastestkitchen.com/YouTube today.
That is beautiful.
Well, this looks nice, doesn't it?
Wow.
All right, so we've had this in there. We started it for 2 hours covered with foil, took off the foil, went another 3 hours, and we're looking for 180 degrees. We're at 181 right now, and that's great. So now we're gonna build a glaze, and then we're gonna start the glazing process here.
All right.
So we have a 1/2 cup of honey, and to that we're gonna add 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar, 3/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes,
Salty, sour, sweet, spicy.
and then a 1/4 teaspoon of 5-spice powder. This is a nice combination of warm spices. It really rounds out the honey and kind of plays well with the pork. So we'll just give this a quick mix.
Very holiday-ish.
All right, so we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of this glaze to the pork. Just wanna brush it on nice and heavy.
Good call on the foil on the pan bottom.
Yeah, it gets a little messy otherwise. So it's about a 1/4 cup of the glaze on top. And it already looks fantastic.
Yep, let's call it a day.
Let's go home. So now we're gonna put it back in the oven for another 30, 45 minutes until we hit 190 degrees.
Okay.
Oof, look at that pork shoulder.
It's always a good time when Bryan says, woof.
So we're looking for 190 degrees. You can see how that honey is caramelized nicely. It's absolutely gorgeous. So,
Absolutely shellacked mahogany goodness.
so we're going for 190 here. 191. right, and that 190-degree temperature is going to leave us with very tender pork, but it's also going to be sliceable, not just fall apart shreddy like barbecue.
Got it.
All right, so we'll just transfer our pork butt. You can see like the fork slides so easily in and out of it. Boom, boom.
Nice.
So that's how you also know, if you didn't have a thermometer, that's how you could tell.
Okay.
So this has been cooking for a very long time, so it's going to require a very long rest. We're going to let it sit here uncovered for a good hour, and it'll still be hot when we carve into it.
I believe it.
Bridget, this has been resting for an hour. It's cooled down considerably. But before we start carving it, we want to remove the bone that's in here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to work our boning knife underneath this. It's kind of loosening the bone from the roast.
But like you said before, we're not getting it to that shreddable pork
Right.
texture, so it's not you're not going to be able to just pull that right out.
Right, we hit 190 degrees and it's still sliceable, but not kind of fall apart tender like it's like barbecue. That shoulder bone just slips right out with a little bit of coercion. This is a long one, huh? Okay, and before we start carving it, this is the point where you might want to bring it out to the table, show your guests. So we're going to hit it with a little bit more glaze, another couple tablespoons of glaze. All right. Great, and now we're going to slice it in 1/2-inch thick slices, and we're going to use a serrated knife because it helps us get a little bit more purchase on the slices there without just pushing down with the blade.
All right, so you
we
got
just-
that crackling crust on top to get through.
Yeah, we want to go for about a 1/2-inch thick. It's still very, very tender and dangerously phenomenal. So we'll just kick these slices down a little bit, present them a little bit more nicely.
The problem with this is your guests will forget to eat all the side dishes. It's kind of amazing.
So one last gilding of the lily here. We're going to hit it with the remaining honey.
Oh, you're always bringing up the Shakespeare with your lily and your gilding.
All right, I think we're ready to eat.
I'm ready to eat for sure.
All right, I'll give you an end piece that's got all that crust on it, and then a little something from the center. Ready to do this?
Yes. Where are you going first?
I'm going to go with a little bit of the centerpiece here.
All right.
And I'll finish off with a nice crust.
Nice. Cuts beautifully. Nice and moist on the inside. The salty, sweet, fantastic. But the pork itself, super porky. You can't get this from a pork tenderloin or even a pork loin, anything like that. You really have to go to a shoulder cut to get that kind of flavor.
A little bit of the crusty edge.
Oh, let me get that. I mean, that's the stuff that dreams are made of right there.
For full episodes of your favorite cooking shows, head over to ATK's Full Episodes channel on YouTube. You can stream complete seasons of America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, and more. See you there.